Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fix It Phil. Let's talk about Facebook Marketplace because I have a lot of people who ask me about it as far as do I use it? How do I use it? What do I look for? And all these are great questions. So let's go ahead and address those. So, Facebook Marketplace started in 2016, and 2016 by the year was a really good year because that's the year the Cubs won the World Series. And for those of you who know me, you know I'm a huge Cubs fan. So 2016 was a great year. All right, let's get back to the marketplace. So this is Marketplace, and you can see up here that I live in Omaha, Nebraska, and I am doing a search within 40 miles. And one of the things that you have to look at is what are the market conditions? Who's selling on Marketplace? Basically, who's in control if you're talking about Facebook Marketplace or stock market, right? Bulls or bears. And so in Marketplace, it would be buyers or sellers, okay? And how can you compete with this? Because those are all great questions. And so I'm going to show you what a professional does because I would consider myself a seasoned professional in this because I've been doing it for over 10 years and I've made some really good money doing this. And when I opened up Marketplace here, the very first thing I see is this DS Lite, right? And keep in mind, Marketplace will kind of uh, give you what you search on. But let's just cut to the chase here. Let's just cut right here and let's do what most people will do. And they're going to go retro video games. And they're going to do a search for this. Now, once you do this search here, I want you to just take in all the stuff that is in front of you. And the number one question you have to ask yourself is who's doing what? Such as, are buyers selling their stuff or are resellers selling their items? And one of the things you'll see right here is that you have all these people competing in this retro space. Anything they're doing anything possible to get you to click on their items. And one of the things that you'll see is that, like this guy right here, I'm not gonna click on it because I don't want to reveal the individual's name, but Super Nintendo Game Sale 20. Now, what they won't tell you is that they're trying to sell their collection for $275. But this is just a great way for you to fall for it and click. And a lot of resellers will do that where they'll say like a dollar here, and then what you'll see in there is that in the listing they have it all broken down by item. Now, why do people choose to use Facebook Marketplace? Because eBay is expensive, right? eBay has a 10% fee. You got to take pictures, you've got to ship it, and then there's always that chance, just that slight chance that someone is going to put in a claim against you and you're going to end up eating it. So when Facebook Marketplace came into play in 2016, this was a very, very good way not only for people to list, buy, or to sell, profit. It became the way for a long time. And before that, you had other platforms like Craigslist. But by far, when Marketplace opened in 2016, I wish I could go back and show you my records. It was unbelievable. It was like fishing in the best fishing hole ever because people just saw this as a great way to dump stuff. And I would say from 2016 to where we are right now, the first 5 years of Marketplace, scorching hot, scorching hot. It wasn't uncommon for me to take $1,000 and turn it into 3,000 in less than 2 weeks. That's how hot it was. And now you can see that all these late adopters are chasing this stuff, paying way too much, trying to sell garbage, just absolute garbage at top dollar because they want all the other people who are adopting this late into this to pay even more than what they paid. And that's insane, right? That's kind of how the stock market works as well, right? Well, if everyone wants this, I'm going to buy this too. And then when it corrects, I don't know what I'm going to do other than cry. But just keep in mind, look at what's selling here. I mean, look, you've got things like a 40-inch Sony LCD because it has an S video port. people trying to get $75 for it. That's insane. Who would pay $75 for an LCD? This might be a legitimate one where you have GoldenEye for 10 bucks, but here's the deal. You're competing now with probably, I'm going to guess in Omaha, I can probably rattle off over 50 people who do the same thing that I do every day. And it's getting to the point now it doesn't even pay because you've got these guys right here who are in search of vintage game consoles, right? And you see this listing, and then you have this guy over here who says I have video games too, and then you have this guy over here who says I have video games, DVDs, and Blu-rays. And so basically you have all these people competing in the same space trying to sell what people already have. And that's something that you have to understand as a professional is that sooner or later what happens? Everyone in your area owns a copy of Mario Kart. And the saturation is real and you can't move it. And that's when you need to start to think outside the box because there's only so many people willing to pay $50 for Mario Kart N64, right? And so many people in user groups or Facebook groups that will do that too. Now, those same people probably have 5 copies and they just know it's worth this, but they're not going to do anything about it. But let me tell you, sooner or later, they always sell. They always sell. So you have to be extremely patient, but more importantly, you have to have those relationships in place in order to move that. But this is my challenge for you. Go out to Facebook Marketplace and just do a search on retro video games. And then ask yourself this simple question. Who is in control? Buyers or resellers? That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it brought some insight to what you're up against. So until we meet again, take care, God bless, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, or if you'd like, come and join us in the Discord server. All right, take care. God bless.